Hello, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Walk Talk and Rock. Today is going to be a quick one. We're just waiting for our buddy to play Big Walk. I don't even know what they're log on. Okay, we're just going to play Fantasy Star while I wait. But today we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 4. That's right. Hopefully you've seen the new trailer that was released last night. Oh my god, I really think it's going to be great. They're gonna put in some new Disney shows. I don't even know. I keep thinking Zootopia is Disney. Wouldn't it be crazy if they had Zootopia in in Kingdom Hearts? Let me see. Oh yeah, Zootopia is Disney. Like, yo, put Zootopia in there, and then put the Shakira music. That would be so freaking awesome. But anyways, as we talk about Kingdom Hearts 4 today, we're just gonna be talking about Kingdom Hearts in general. And hopefully my friend will show up. We're just waiting for him to play Big Walk, but my mic doesn't even work in Steam games for some reason because I use a virtual input, but I also use a Scarlet Solo through a virtual input on my PC, and I guess it doesn't register. No idea. I'm not gonna worry about it. So today we'll talk about like what is Kingdom Hearts real quick. Then we'll talk about the game and the story that made Kingdom Hearts legendary. And then we're going to talk about what the characters of Kingdom Hearts, basically just a lot of Disney and original IP from Square Enix. Then we'll talk about Kingdom Hearts 4 and whatnot. And we're going to talk about like Kingdom Hearts 4 become like the best game of the series, which I think it will be. And honestly, it's been a long time since Kingdom Hearts has anything. But Square Enix and Disney, Imagineers, whatever, be releasing out, I guess, remixes or remakes, but that ain't nothing too crazy in my opinion. Let's get started. I just want to talk about the trailer real quick. So in the trailer of Coco, definitely has the music and the vibe, but I definitely see the graphics are kind of toned down a bit from the initial trailer that we saw originally for Kingdom Hearts 4. It definitely kind of downgraded a bit because obviously they have to make it friendly for console, and I have a feeling they're gonna put Kingdom Hearts 4 on Nintendo Switch too, which is alright, I guess. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to play the game, and we just want to make a lot of money. Man, the graphics really took a nosedive, but hopefully for the PC port, if it even comes to PC, we'll have, all the options unlocked since I think it's made with Unreal Engine. I'm not too sure, or maybe they have a proprietary engine. I'm not too sure about that either, but oh well. I really do hope it does come out for PC. So, Kingdom Hearts is probably the greatest example of a game idea that sounds completely fake until you actually play it. And I say that because literally the story is everywhere. There's so much lore to Kingdom Hearts, But at the end of the day, it's a very simple story. Just a bunch of people trying to rewrite history. It's just a bunch of people doing things that they think is right. And it's all about, mostly about friendship and just conquering little problems that people have in the Disneyland world or whatever. So we have Disney, Square Enix, an action RPG. Honestly, Sora is literally the most generic character you could ever think of. There's nothing really special about him. The only thing special about Kingdom Hearts is just the Disney IP. Because if you take out everything, like with most of these collab games, they're just really generic video games. but still, Kingdom Hearts is still a very interesting story, even though at the time most of the motives from the character just doesn't make sense because you think that with their experience that they've claimed to have, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. But it seems like everybody in Kingdom Hearts is mentally ill, and they're either low-key narcissists or just have Alzheimer's. If I had to sum it up real quick. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should just watch some other YouTuber explain the story. And it just really seems kind of a little bit childish. But it's still good, I guess. It's good if you're young, because it's hard to understand, but when you have better understanding, it just kind of falls flat. So let's talk about how it works. Why Disney even made this game in the first place. Obviously, Disney and Square Enix partnered up together to make this game series. There's probably some kid was like, I want a video game with Disney characters in it. And they saw that Square Enix was doing really well with Final Fantasy. And in collaboration with the engineers of Disney and Final Fantasy or Square Enix, boom, Kingdom Hearts was born. So then they created this story, original story, and adventure where you literally travel across multiple Disney worlds and you help solve their little problems into unlocking more secrets of hearts and whatnot, and you know, helping Sora discover his power with the Keyblade. And later you realize that the Keyblade is used for accessing dimensions and things to do with time and space. That's what I feel like I've gotten. Understand? So some of the most popular places that I hope they might bring back, or it probably won't be brought back in Kingdom Hearts 4, is like Traverse Town. They're definitely putting Hercules in there, because Hercules is just I feel like the go-to arena gameplay mode. I think in Kingdom Hearts 4, they're also gonna introduce those new characters like Strelitzia and the other guy. Oh. Sorry. I was just like, why are they not attacking? Am I playing with bots? Alright, so Kingdom Hearts is basically an interdimensional road trip where you travel. Companions are Donald Duck and Goofy. You know, trusted companions for most of the series. Then you have your spin-offs like the organization and Heartless and things like that. So why did the franchise become emotionally sticky? I honestly believe that after Kingdom Hearts 1 and possibly 2, Square Enix wanted to end the series right there, and I feel like the series could have ended there. But you know, the IP was just so profitable. You know, they had to milk it out more, and that's why we started getting all these spin-offs. And you know, in order to connect everything, they just have to turn all that nonsense into stuff that just makes sense. And that's my thought about it, because even when I was writing a video game and creating a story, those things that have plot holes, I would just fill them randomly in with other characters that somehow connect to it. So it builds an emotional impact. And I feel like that's what Square Enix and Disney do. Like at first it might seem genius, right? You'd be like, oh, I didn't notice that before. Yeah, because the thing is, they just added it last minute. things that you never noticed the first time and only noticed the second time because that profound information is probably because it wasn't even planned until last minute, to be honest. And that's just how storytelling works. And it just makes them seem like a genius, but honestly, they wouldn't even have thought of that themselves till the last minute. Other things that you have is like equipment, abilities, magic, summons, and all those cool things that make a RPG game, right? And you have the cool story, like I said. But it would be cool if they even had Star Wars world in there. I can't believe I keep forgetting to dodge them. So Kingdom Hearts is not embarrassed about feelings and all that. I'm all dead. This is the worst part ever. Well, I'm doing pretty bad because I'm talking. So in Kingdom Hearts, you have friendship, it makes you stronger, and all that cliche stuff. People sacrifice themselves. You have characters disappearing, memories getting erased, people disappearing, a lot of stuff about time and space. And Kingdom Hearts commits to sincerity so hard that eventually you literally stop questioning your enemies and the antagonists and what their motives would be. Because literally every character in Kingdom Hearts, they have a valid, what's that, motivation that they're doing things. For the most part, none of them seem like they're crazy or actually truly evil. And I feel like a lot of the characters just all have this misunderstanding of each other, and they're just doing what's for their best interests. But even today, we know that everyone's best interest in today's modern world is literally the same thing. Everybody wants to live a happy life, but even with people knowing that, there's still people that are actually mentally ill and are just psychologically impaired to do corrupt and evil things to other people, which is there's something you just have to accept until we fix those kind of problematic people in this world. I mean, they'll eventually get fixed because everybody will realize it sooner or later. And I feel like that's what literally happens in Kingdom Hearts series. You begin to see a lot of characters get alienated, and some of them literally just disappear. Like some of the organization members, literally you just don't hear about them anymore. And some people link to the Heartless or whatever. So now we move on to the games and the story, right? Kingdom Hearts, when it was starting out, very simple. When you had just Sora, Riku, Donald Duck, and Goofy. And later on, you meet like Ansem, the Heartless, the Disney characters from other worlds. And then you have like finding your friends and saving the world. And then later we have like Roxas, right? And all that's mysterious other characters that are just deepening the plot of the Kingdom Hearts lore. So after like Kingdom Hearts, it only just goes straight to Chain of Memories because I believe that I remember that collecting Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora, it goes into like some sort of coma type of thing. And then you're like, what if everyone forgot everything? And this introduces the Castle of Oblivion in Chain of Memories. And I believe this is the chronological order of how it should be played, right? Kingdom Hearts 1. Okay. And then we had Chain of Memories, right? And then Kingdom Hearts 2. This is the peak, in my opinion. Kingdom Hearts 2 was the best Kingdom Hearts game. It opens with Roxas. It really had a solid story, in my opinion, about identity crisis and just finding who you really are. Mostly about identity crisis, which everybody goes through in a stage of their life. And the cool thing that I liked about Kingdom Hearts 2 is really the contrast from the different worlds from Roxas' point of view and compared to Sora, right? I think that was the most powerful message. And then how that even though you are a nobody, that you're still a somebody, basically was what they're saying. But sadly, in real life, in reality, if you're a nobody, you're actually a nobody. Because like you just don't get anywhere in life. A lot of things that you see where people get to is just a lot of marketing and advertising. But at the end of the day, with over 8 billion people, no one really gives a shit about your livelihood. And that's really the truth. So, in that aspect, it only works if the planet you live on isn't so dense with population. So then, why did people like Kingdom Hearts 2? Other than the reasons that I mentioned, it had really fast combat. It wasn't as slow as Kingdom Hearts 1. It was more dynamic. You had aerial attacks, aerial combos, and more summons. You had different type of forms of Keyblade. My favorite one being Ultima form or Master form. And they had all the other forms that you can collect from the different Disney worlds. Oh, what else? Okay. Trying to think of anything else that I missed about Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, yeah, Organization 13 bosses. Yeah, they were a big part of it. Roxas, Axels, and even like the crossover from Final Fantasy. You could fight Sephiroth and Final Zenmus, and the end game was really fun. So Kingdom Hearts 2 is where Kingdom Hearts start feeling like a Disney crossover and really started like its own game, honestly. And then after Kingdom Hearts 2, you should be playing 358 half days. It's more about the nobodies, such as Roxel, Axis, and Xaiyeon. And you just learn about the tragedy and how they just like break off or something or meet. And then you have Birth by Sleep. After that, then it goes to Dreamed Up Distance. And this is very high level overview. And then once you're done with all these little spin-offs, right? Which is a lot because I guess that they didn't want to put too much time into development. They decided to build all these smaller games to build more of the lore for Kingdom Hearts fans to suck up dry because they're so thirsty. And then you get more of the plot in Dream Drop Distance with organization like Young Xenoheart, Sleeping Worlds, and all that. Then you have Kingdom Hearts 3. I guess this is literally just, honestly, in my opinion, I didn't really like Kingdom Hearts 3. While the story did kind of complete itself, the gameplay was lame and the game was really short for a game that was in development for a long time. For me, AAA games in development for over 5 years is a long time. And a game as Kingdom Hearts, with the massive amount of money they make, I feel like they should be working harder and faster because they'd be telling me like, you gotta solve leak code problems in 30 minutes, but for some reason it takes them years to develop a simple or a game for that long. But I digress. Kingdom Hearts 3 had really great Disney features. You know, like obviously Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Frozen, which I thought was kinda not that great. And they had Pirates and Big Hero 6, which was pretty cool. You know, like with all the nanobots kind of stuff. And honestly, it just felt really quick playing that game. I think I beat that game in I think I beat it in like 26 hours. Just doing only the main storyline. No additional side quests or anything. I remember playing it for the PlayStation 4. But yeah, it was just a game that it was a one and done for me. But after that story, I just felt that it wasn't really that interesting to me for some reason, because at that time I was already like really invested into Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online. What else had really good stories? I don't know. There's like a lot of anime and other TV shows that I was kind of invested more in. Kingdom Hearts story wasn't that interesting anymore at that point, but it still had really good improvements. You know, visually, the graphics were a huge improvement, obviously, since there was nothing for the PS3, and then it's only the PS4. Obviously, there's huge improvements, which I don't know why it took so long. For Square Enix, I guess Disney has a lot of problems on their hands, or they're just mentally ill people working there that just don't know how to maneuver their own IP, or they were just trying to make it more profitable. I guess I don't know. Who knows? Those people are crazy. But Kingdom Hearts was sorry, but Kingdom Hearts was still satisfying to end the Xenoheart saga, because I mean, after you played Dream Drop Distance, you kind of knew what was gonna happen and how he basically created the organization in the first place. Sorry. So, what did you think? Was Kingdom Hearts 3 a satisfying close to the Xenoheart story? Why or why not? Did you actually enjoy his reasoning for what the Keyblade and the creation of what he's doing? You know, let me know. I just kind of want to expand on that a little bit. I mean, he just wanted to make a new world, and honestly, that's kind of cliche, because we had things like Arcane, and they almost had the same similar vibe. You know, with Victor, and you know, traveling across the worlds or timeline. So we really had a lot of stories that had this world making view power theme in mind. You know, destroying the world to create a new world. And maybe that's what's happening today. You know, maybe our wealthy oligarchs from every single country are trying to destroy the world. So everybody will be dead, and they'll just remake it again, probably, after you know, after they have harvested all our intelligence and we create all the tools necessary for that. You know, I think that's literally the end goal. Other than that, there's literally nothing that I can foresee and foretell about Earth and humans' purpose on here. When people always wonder about the question, well, what is our purpose to be alive, right? But everybody seems to be okay with certain people openly scamming other people. And I think that kind of shows also in Kingdom Hearts, where like the organization does what it pleases, and they literally get away with a lot of things. And there's only like Sora and his gang truly stopping the madness. Because let's think about this: if Sora and those other friends weren't there, I'm pretty sure Xenoheart's plan would have came into fruition. And I think playing those other games like 3.5 Days, Dream Drop Distance, and Chain of Memories really solidify the fact of Sora's upbringing, I guess. Well, hopefully we'll find out more in Kingdom Hearts 4 because at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, it just opens more can of worms, in my opinion. And that brings us to more about the characters for the Kingdom Hearts series. So, like I said, we have Sora. He's the heart of the series, the driving force, the Keyblade wielder. Well, one of the Keyblade wielders. We later learned there's many of them. He's not that compelling. He's very generic. But he gets the job done. You know, you just need somebody to be the catalyst for the adventure, and that's literally him. Then you have Riku, probably one of the best characters that contrasts and complements Sora. He falls into darkness like every other friend would, and then he becomes like a mini Ansem, and he goes on rampage and becomes dark and evil and edgy and all that. You know, he's going through his emo phase. And when you think about it, I think that a lot of these characters in Kingdom Hearts, they started, you know, like a child, and then you go to your teenage years, where most people go through some emo phase. What do they call that? Other rebellious phase. And it's just a normal part of growing up and learning, I guess. You know, it happens to everybody. Sometimes it happens sooner, sometimes later. But people later go through that kind of phase in their life. And some people they just never change because apparently in our society we enable that kind of behavior. And it's very apparent in our work culture, in our educational system, in our social hierarchy. You know, and I feel like Kingdom Hearts really reminds us about what truly matters when it comes to life. You know, as much as people like to make stupid amounts of Disneyland money, you know, it reminds us about what actually is more important in life. And I think we just lost that sight, you know, thanks to a lot of these wealthy people and the heavy influence of maniacs, literally just brainwashing young children into thinking their way of life is the only way of life you should be living. I don't know. You tell me, what do you think about that? Like, if you had to teach a class of 5-year-old kids and you had to tell them one thing about how to live and progress life, what would you tell them? Are you going to tell them what Peter Thiel said? Everything's a transaction. Everything is a business. You need to make monopoly so you can own life. Blah, 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 blah. Monopoly this, monopoly that. If you don't own anything, monopoly, it's not worth your time. You got to build a monopoly so it can ruin people's lives and make a lot of money and become rich. Now, that guy is straight up crazy, in my opinion. Can you imagine? Like, I watched that speech he talked about, and I just thought it's cool. You're intelligent, but that shit's is stupid long term, in my opinion. You know, Peter Thiel, he's a cool guy in other aspects, but not in that aspect. And that's what you see in Kingdom Hearts, right? That's how the organization 13 portrays himself as. They're like the PayPal mafia in real life, or any of the oligarchs in the past, right? And I feel like that really contradicts. It's a really good comparison that I would say. And you see that side from each character. And then you have Kyrie. She's just there, honestly. She's like the princess of heart, basically her friend. And I guess she moves the story along because she gets captured all the time and has all these memory drifts and stuff like that. And you have Roxas, then you have Axel and Leia, then you have Xaiyeon, and Aqua, one of the other strong wielders aside from Sora, and she's trapped in darkness, and you learn more about her story and is it Chain of Memories? And then you have Terra, and then you have Ventus, who looks like Roxas, but it's not Roxas, and he's connected to Sora, connected to Ventus. And I believe that's is Sora's, is it his Heartless or his Nobody? One of those. I think Roxas is a Nobody, and Ventus is like part of the Heartless. Let me see. He's from Birth from Sleep. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of copies of Sora, I guess. And you have Donald Duck, Goofy, and then your bad guys, Xaiyeon, Organization 13, with Zenmus, Syx, Axel, Demi, Luxord, Marluxia, and all of them make an appearance in each of the spin-off games after Kingdom Hearts 2. So you learn more about them. And after all that said is done, I would think that my favorite character in the entire Kingdom Hearts series, honestly, I would have to give to Roxas, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, I just really felt connected to him and felt bad for that guy, honestly, because he's just living his life. Imagine you're just living your life, and then all of a sudden everything's taken away from you. It's super sad, and it really built those cutscenes where you're playing as Roxas in like Traverse Town, or is it Twilight Town, whatever. And then you have your other characters, but I feel like I'll have a new favorite character once Kingdom Hearts 4 drops. It's definitely probably might be Strelitzia, one of the new female characters. Maybe. I don't know. There's the other guy too, but he don't look that interesting to me. And after all that, Kingdom Hearts 4 begins a new saga. I guess Sora gets isekai'd. Not really too sure about the details about the story, but there's some sort of story going on now. So we have this new Kingdom Hearts 4, right? So hopefully we'll see some new Disney worlds in there. Like I said, they had the Coco kind of thing going on. And each Disneyland world has their own, theme. I'm trying to think of what other Disney movies we've had. I mean, isn't Spider-Man? I don't even know. That would be crazy if they added like some sort of Marvel. But I know that, or Star Wars too, rather. And Disney owns a lot of IP now. As they basically have a monopoly on characters and storytelling. And all they have to do is just make something. But now, that's the problem. You have so much IP. But what happens when no one's interested in the IP anymore, right? And then making something new is just a hit or a miss. And honestly, I don't know what's next for Disney. But whatever they're doing, they should just keep doing. Because, humans forget. There's one thing about us. Humans are forgetful. No one's literally going to remember the story from like 10 years. They don't remember anything anyway. More so 50 years. So obviously in Coco, it just fits, Bargana people, death, and all that. And I really like how they highlighted some of the stage events towards like the middle of the trailer. You can see that Sora is riding like some sort of vehicle or train or something. And that's what I kind of liked about Kingdom Hearts 3. It had a lot of mini games, but some of them were just so damn annoying. I think I really found the Big Hero 6 world was the most annoying world in my opinion in Kingdom Hearts 3. And I was like, this shit's lame. Because you had to like travel the city and collect points or something. I forgot what that was. Like, I didn't really like that one. And I think they had Pirates of the Caribbean. And that one was pretty cool too. So they had a lot of interesting worlds. Looking forward to what they'll be adding into Kingdom Hearts 4, and we'll only just see more announcements as the game starts to release next year in 2027. But one of the biggest locations I think is going to be Quadratone, which is its main city that we've seen in most of the trailers. You know, it looks like Sora is in a modern era Tokyo now, or he got isekai somehow, or maybe everything was a simulation and he was just asleep in a deep coma in real life and he wakes up, supposedly. That's what everybody's thinking. There's a lot of theories out there. You can check them all out. There's a lot of people that are really invested into the Kingdom Hearts lore. I'm just more of a casual enjoyer of video games, and I just happen to play a lot of video games and try to learn more about the story and enjoy the gameplay. So we have Quadraturn. It kind of feels like a Persona-like game at that point, and I believe that they had that kind of sort of thing, you know, with the summons in Kingdom Hearts. Every time you would progress, you know, with a quest with some of the main characters, you earn yourself a summon. You know, especially like Aladdin and things like that. You summon all the other cool things from other worlds to help you in battle. And maybe they'll have the same thing in Kingdom Hearts 4, which was a great system. You know, it adds dynamic to the battle. And then if you've been playing like Kingdom Hearts X or Union X, I think it's the mobile game, you would know that, you know, Square Enix and Disney have taken that route, and it really borrows some of the places that you'll see in Kingdom Hearts 4. So like if you're trying to catch up to speed with Kingdom Hearts, honestly, if you're brand new to the series, just play Kingdom Hearts 1 and then do play Birth by Sleep and Chain of Memories, then play Kingdom Hearts 2, and then you can literally just watch recap videos of the other ones like Dream Drop Distance and 3.5 Days, whatever, and then just play Kingdom Hearts 3. And you don't really need to play all that filler stuff to really grasp the story unless you have literally a lot of free time on your hands. But it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. So moving on forward, we have the Master of Masters, which is a mystery, you know, seen in the mobile version of Kingdom Hearts. We don't know who he is. I believe he was introduced. It's the guy that had the crossbow, and I think he was like an optional final boss in Kingdom Hearts 3. Is it Yuzu? Is his name Yuzu? I forgot if his name is Yuzu or Lushu or whatever. And he probably comes from Kingdom Hearts 4. And then soon after that, we have the lore masters, lost masters, sorry. Like Ira, Aced, Evie, Gula, Ava. And this is from, I believe, the past ancient timeline, before the Grand Keyblade War or the Great Keyblade War, whatever. So they still haven't really dispelled that, because we didn't really get that much at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 other than that. There's still more to unsolve, right? So they can definitely dive even deeper into the ancient Keyblade history. Like, we're really going far back in time in this game series. So far back, just like we're going to the embryo stages, you know. How was Sora born? And it's like, he was concocted, created to do all this shit. And it'll just be like whatever, in my opinion, but I don't know. the story's at a point where it's just becoming, what's that word? Overarching, I guess. So then we think about Kingdom Hearts 4 and like, what does Disney World need besides Coco, right? Well, they've had other movies, like I said, Zootopia. They had Moana, Encanto, The Incredibles. Like, I can't believe they didn't put The Incredibles in the game. That would have been sick. Imagine fighting that evil robot kid. I forgot his name already. Inside Out, Star Wars, Marvel. Like I said, they could literally put Spider-Man universe, the Spider-Verse. Like Square Enix and Disney are sleeping. And Disney owns so much IP, I don't think they should have any trouble with licensing fees and whatever. I think the only one losing in this profit battle is Square Enix because Disney, they have those people that apparently, I'm not racist, but anti-Semiticism, whatever. But those people are really just so manipulative when it comes to business and control and money, whatever. Like, oh my god, those kind of people piss me off. But I digress. Hopefully they add the Marvel universe in there. That'd be freaking cool. And now finally, can Kingdom Hearts 4 become the greatest? In my opinion, no. I feel like Kingdom Hearts series peaked in Kingdom Hearts 2, to be honest. And then maybe one of the spin-off games where we had closure and learned about some of the organization members. Because after that, it was just a matter of time of just executing, the plan of what, you knew about the Organization 13 and Sora's part in it, right? So there wasn't anything too surprising or too surprising or amazing. Because you already knew, you already had an idea of what was going to happen. And then now Kingdom Hearts 4 is basically just backtracking and really just trying to add more lore to the story by going in the past. But we hardly see any of that kind of stuff. We always look forward to the future when it comes to storytelling. But a cheap way to have a story that you don't know what you want to write about is by always going to the past, right? And that's how it is standard in storytelling. You've seen that in many series, TV shows, movies, like I said, even like Red Dead Redemption series, in my other Walk Talking Rock. It's just a more common route to always be making the prequel, and still moving the story along. But for the most part, it's kind of like already like Final Fantasy and whatnot. So yeah, I still think Kingdom Hearts 2, the final mix, was probably the high point of the Kingdom Hearts series. I mean, at this point, a lot of people already moved on from Kingdom Hearts in general, and hopefully Square Enix and Disney will be able to capture the newer generation, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta. But I don't really think that's gonna happen because they're too busy with like other games, and it would take a long time to catch up. So hopefully Kingdom Hearts 4 needs better Disney integration, right? More of those worlds, a much more better original story, and they also need to cater to the younger generation because there's nothing for us older generation or adults to learn from Kingdom Hearts. We've already been through like 5 recessions in our life. What more can we ask for? They need to definitely update the combat. The combat needs to be fast and fresh. I don't want to play something slow and boring. You need team attacks, you need particles everywhere, sparkling lights, quick time events. They need to give us different options for difficulty. They need to give Kyrie a real arc instead of just being a pick me up. She's literally just there to get kidnapped every time and say dumb shit that honestly doesn't really matter. Like if you took Kyrie out of the game, it wouldn't even make a difference to the story. in my opinion. Maybe give Riku like a divergent part in the story, and then the Disney Worlds need to release surprises, you know, as well as they have surprises of the movie, of course, to integrate their own little stories from Final Fantasy or Square Enix directors and producers. And then also they need to keep it funny. You know, a lot of the things that made Kingdom Hearts great was because it was kind of funny, especially in like Kingdom Hearts 1 in the Mulan world. I thought that one was pretty funny. You know, they need to put those really funny jokes in there. Now it's just like PG, brain dead, lobotomized, safe dialogue shit. It's like talking to an AI chatbot that has zero emotions. So hopefully they spice up the dialogue. Like, come on, Disney. Come on, Disney. Come on. Oh, so other than that, I think that's pretty much the end of this Rock Talking Rock. Don't forget there's a Steam sale going on right now. So if you really want to play the Kingdom Hearts series, there's so many of them that it's like 20 to 70% off. You can get the Final Mix, 2.5, 1.5, and even all the other games remastered. So that's literally like the 1.5, the 2.5, the 2.8, and you can also get 3 and Rewind, and that's over like easily over 300 hours of gameplay, and you can get all that for like $100. Check that out on Steam. That's on PC. I don't know about any other platform, but that's it. 25 years of Disney, Final Fantasy S gameplay, and that's Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. And I just look forward to more news on Kingdom Hearts 4. Probably talk more about it in the next Walk Talking Walks. But that'll be it. I guess we didn't play Big Walk here. I don't even know. I guess my friend's eating dinner or something. Yeah, I'll eat. See you in the next one.